Okay, so I'm always recording this so you can follow or review if you need at home, if you missed something. Patty's buying a car from a private owner for 95. I'm going to highlight things. Okay, so you're buying private and it's 9,500. So that would be considered the purchase price, right? What you agreed to buy the car for. In order to pass the COI, which is the safety, it needs two new lights. So two new lights at $60 each, four brakes at $150 each. It needs a tune-up for $190. The labor to do the repairs would be 2 hours at $65 per hour. And there's a safety, obviously, for $40. And we're told that the book value is $10,000, which I want you to right away look, because this is greater, so the province will tax me on this. But it will not be what you pay. Don't think you're paying the 10 grand, it's just what you're taxed on, okay? So I will go ahead and start with my parts and labor right away. So I will just go through here and I say two lights, so 2 times 60 for the lights. That's fairly simple, that's 120. Four brakes at 150 each, so that's 600 bucks. A tune-up is 190. I'm just gonna put that down like that. And it's 2 hours at $65 per hour. Okay, so you just multiply the hours times the amount per hour. If it's 2.5 hours, you just go 2.5. So this is 130, right? So I'm adding up my parts and labor to make my formula a little bit more manageable. So we have all those values there, 720, and so that's 1,040. Okay, we're just going to underline this because it's going to be important to us. That would be all the parts and the labor that I would have to pay, right? So it's private, so we're going to go used private is 9,500. That's the purchase price, plus the 10,000, which is the book value. It's greater, times 0.07, plus the safety is right there. That's $40 times 1.05. Parts and labor is 1,040. I'm going to multiply that by 1.12. So I'm adding PST, GST to the parts and labor. I'm adding GST to my safety. I'm adding PST, right? This is the PST portion right here. Okay. GST, and this is PST, right? Sorry, GST and PST. That's why the 1.12 is there. Anything else? I think I'm good. And now I'm just going to clean it up a bit. I would strongly encourage you to do that. So this would probably be 700 bucks, right? So 700 for this. That's 42, right? We already had that in today's AC, right? 40 times 1.05 is 42. And 1,040 times 1.12. So that's 1164.80. And then we just add that all up. And I get 11. Oh, I should say there's no trade-in, right? So we don't have to worry about that. So that's 11,406.80. Don't do this, okay? Right? This is wrong, right? Don't do that. Don't add 1.12 again. This is already after tax. When you do this, you're finding the total cost, including all of the applicable taxes. Okay. Did you know that Superstore, if you go to a grocery store, most items are not taxed? When they say you save the taxes, right? Superstore is like, you save the tax event, and everybody goes crazy. And I'm like, you know, you don't even pay taxes on most of the things, like meat, milk, any produce, you don't pay taxes on. So people think they're gonna save a lot of money. The only time you save is if you buy a flat screen TV or something like that, then yes, right? But just your groceries, you're actually, look at your bill. You could pay 200 bucks worth of groceries and it'd be like $2, $3, $4 in taxes, right? Like, or more, sometimes more. It depends on what you buy. If you buy a lot of junk food, you pay taxes on that, right? Anything packaged or like that, preserved, you do pay taxes on. But produce, meat, dairy, anything like that, you don't pay taxes on. So same thing here. Some things are included, some are excluded. That's how it goes, right? You don't pay both taxes. All right. What are the total taxes paid? So this is a little bit trickier. So I was thinking, how can I make this easier for you? So this is how I'm gonna do it. Okay, watch. I'm gonna go up here and say 10,000 times 0.07. So I'm gonna copy that down here. So this is the PST you've paid so far. Plus, watch this, 40 times, instead of 1.05, I'm just going to go 0.05. Right? I'm going to copy this down because this is only going to give me the GST paid without the $40. And then I copy down this bracket. It's all about making life easier for you. So instead of the one, it's all just zeros, right? And this is 0 anyways, already in the original. So change the ones into zeros. Sorry, why is the 1 up there, the S? Change the ones into zeros. I don't know if that will help you to do taxes only. Okay. If you just want the taxes, you copy, but do not write down the 9,500 because that's the car, right? The car itself. So this is basically what you do. So it's 700 plus, this is $2. You could have probably just guessed by looking, right? From 40, you go to 42. So it's not a big deal. If you want to do mental math, that's fine. And then 1040 times 0.12, that's 124.80 that you pay taxes on parts and labor. Okay. Tax. So I'm going to just do this. So we can probably do this in our heads, right? 2 and 124 is 126 plus 700 is 826.80. Taxes only. Okay. So I was thinking, how can I do it so that you can just use what you've already done and just apply it to this? And that's the best I came up with, folks. If you want to do it differently, there are more ways to do it, but this is how I'm showing it here, right? Some students also don't use my formulas. They just do everything separately and then add it all up. Fine with me. You don't have to use my formula. But the formula works every time. It's like a recipe, right? Example 3, Gord is buying a used car. So it's used private for $16,500. He gets diagnostics done, right? Diagnostics for 90 bucks. Engine work for $650. Labor cost is $50 per hour for 3.5 hours. You need 4 new shocks at $82 each. You need your safety for $60. There's a lien search for $20. The book value is $14,000. What is the total after tax, right? What are you going to pay after everything? As soon as there's parts and labor, I do one of these. And I call that parts and labor. And I just go through it. Diagnostics is 90. Just make it off to the side a little bit. Engine work is 650. $50 per hour for 3.5 hours. So you go 3.5 times 50 and you'll get value there. Let's do it right away. That's 175. 4 new shocks at 82. So 4 times 82. That's 328. Safety, we'll do that later. Leon, we'll do that later. So this is parts and labor. Let's add it up. Uh, 328 plus 175 plus 650 plus 90. That's 1,243.00. Underline that. I would actually consider this part of the work that you need to do to come up with your final answer. We're good so far? Okay, I'm not going to add taxes yet. I'm going to do that later in my formula. So used private, right? So used private. Obviously, it's the 16,500 you're going to pay plus which one is greater? In this case, it's the actual value of the car. So the book value is just to try to trick you, right? So in this case, I'm going to write down the 16,500 again times 0.07 plus safety, which is 60, plus parts and labor, like that, plus the lien search, which is 20 bucks. So you've got the PST, this is safety, this is parts and labor, and this is the lien. And there's no trade-in, so I don't have to worry about the trade-in. A private seller can also take a trade-in. That's fine, right? Sometimes someone wants to trade in a snowmobile for a bicycle or a canoe or something, right? You can trade. So that's what you would set up. And so let's go and clean that up. 16,500 is 1,155. Safety is $63. 1243 times 1.12 is 1392.16, and the $20 does not get taxed, so you just add it up like that. So let's add that up. Okay, so the total is 19,130.16 that you're gonna have to pay out of your pocket, right? So when you look at a car on Kijiji and it's private, oh, 16,500, not bad. It might actually be quite a bit more when it's all said and done. You might not have to pay for the safety and parts and labor, but you will definitely pay for the PST, right? And the lien search if your bank, if you're going through the bank, they will do a lien search for sure. I would recommend you can do your own lien search. So let's say you saved up, you have like 10 grand saved up to buy this car. You're not going to go through your bank. You can do a lien search yourself. Just go Lien Search Canada, and there's a bunch of providers that will do that for you. And it'll say it's either clear, it's actually all North America. So let's say somebody drove it up from the States and is selling it here and then goes back, it will actually show as also having a lien on it. Okay, I don't have that here, but I would like you to do taxes only here. So if you have room, just add it right there. What are the taxes paid? 16,500 times 0.07 plus 60 times 0.05 plus 1243 times 0.12. And what about the 20? Don't worry about it. There are no taxes paid on it, so we kind of just ignore it. So it's just these three things that you pay taxes on. And we can use our answers above, right? We know this. Here you can do mental math, right? Because we went from 60 to 63, so it's just $3. And here you might need to actually use your calculator for that. So it's 149.16. So taxes is 1,307.16. Taxes only. Okay. What I will ask you to do, you have 20 minutes, just over. There's quite a few questions, but I'm starting to mix it up a little bit. Okay. So you go to page 10. So it actually goes 10, 11, 12, right? Okay, so slowly but surely, you probably won't finish all of it today. Most likely you won't. But try to get as much done as possible, because these are the types of questions that I'm going to AC you on as well, right? And so you get to practice your knowledge of everything we've done so far.